The combined dam levels for the Port Elizabeth area is at a shocking 11%.
Life's a journey certainly gets a little more exciting for graduates after entering the job market, landing a dream job, and earning a salary. Your focus starts shifting from first significant purchases like a car or a home. But even with a great income, paying for those items in cash isn't always a feasible option. And you might look to taking out a loan to help you out. However, life can take unexpected twists and turns, and it might get to a point where repayment can be overwhelming, to the point where uh, these items are no longer affordable for you, and you get blacklisted by a creditor. And what do you do when you get blacklisted? How can you get removed from that blacklisted list, from that blacklist? To tell us more, we have the CEO of South African Savings Institute, Gerald Mwandiambira. Sorry, the acting CEO, Gerald. Gerald, good morning, and thank you for joining me.
Good morning, and good morning to all your listeners.
All right, first of all, what does it mean to be blacklisted?
Well, essentially, what they commonly term as blacklisting is a court judgment. So, a court judgment has been made against your name for not having honored your financial obligations. So, when this court judgment is put against your name, what then happens? What then happens is that you are listed with the credit bureaus, so that when you apply for credit, every time they check your name, they're not able to extend you any credit because of that court judgment against you. In order for you to be credit active again, you need to clear your debts or make a settlement with the people who listed you, and then you can start being able to get credit again. So there's no such thing as an actual blacklist as such. It simply means that there's a court judgment against your name for not having honored a financial contract.
Hmm. How does blacklisting impact you?
Sorry, repeat. Sorry.
How does blacklisting impact you?
Well, exactly. It impacts you in many ways. Firstly, you can't
Mm.
get credit, and also, in certain types of jobs, people do a credit check on you, and obviously, if you have a judgment against your name, you will not get employment. So, it could have actually severe consequences on you, and in certain professions and careers, if you get a judgment against your name whilst you're working, you could end up losing your job.
Wow. Hmm. We thought that perhaps it's just about not being able to get credit to buy a big item like a car or a home, but there's more to that. How can you be blacklisted, and how many payments do you need to miss in order to become or listed or blacklisted?
Well, essentially, for you to end up with a potential court judgment, with any financial contract, you get 3 months or 90 days to catch up. Once you miss 90 days on your contract, it basically means you're in default, which means that you've broken your contract obligations, at which point they can send you a letter saying you have another 20 days to sort it out. If you don't do that, they can apply to the court so that you end up with a summons issued against you to appear in court to come and explain why you are not paying your debt. And in court, if you do not show up in this on that court date, automatically they will do what they call a default court judgment in favor of the people who applied for it. And this is the problem. Many people don't bother showing up in court or responding when they get a summons. So they end up with default judgments which they don't know anything about, or they don't think, or they then don't take it seriously when they get the legal warnings. So what you need to do is, often, if you do get that summons, go and appear in court and explain why you can't pay. If you're not employed or you can play a little bit, you make a small arrangement and it's noted by the court. And that's how you can prevent yourself from actually having the judgment made against you. So even if you're offered to pay 100 Rand a month, if the court sees that's all you can pay, that's what they will record. But at least you won't get a judgment against your name.
Hmm. Can you check if you've been blacklisted, and if so, how?
To check your credit status, you just need to log on to any of the websites of the credit bureaus. You enter your ID number and your details, and you can see a report which lists everything that's against your name.
Hmm. What can you do if you've been blacklisted?
Well, you have to pay back the money. There's no other way. You simply need to make an arrangement or pay back the people you owed to get your name taken off. And once you've paid them off, they give you a settlement letter, which you then take to the court, and then the court can lift the judgment against you. But there's no
Hmm.
other shortcut. You have to honor it. So that's why we need to be very careful when you take out financial contracts, especially ones which are long term, because if you do fail to pay, it can stick with you for a long time. They don't disappear.
Hmm. And where can people go to get help?
Look, if you're really struggling with your debts right now, you might need to approach a debt counselor. And you can go onto the National Credit Regulator website to find accredited debt counselors there, and maybe have a chat with them, and they can either put you under debt review, which protects you from being listed. As long as you still have your job, you can go on debt review, which means you pay small installments until things improve for you. But if you've lost employment, unfortunately, there are not that many things you can do. You might just need to go to the courts and represent yourself and make a nominal payment so that they don't issue a judgment against your name.
Hmm. All right. So thank you for your time, Gerald, and for the information.
Thank you very much.
That was Gerald Mwandiambira, the acting CEO of the South African Savings Institute, giving us some insight into what to do if you found out that you've been blacklisted, and there's no special list per se, so you don't have to worry about, hey, going under a special list. You are under debt review, and being blacklisted is actually an obsolete term in law, but it is still used by some to describe those who have a record of non payment of outstanding debt. This is relevant to any form of credit that has been given. This could be money owed to a bank loan, a credit card, or store card, or even your household bond. Regular checks on your credit report can help you avoid disappointing surprise. Um, one really famous one is, what is your credit score? Something like that. Credit scores, Staciero ZA, clear score, is it? Yeah, anyways, I forgot what it is. Your creditor gives you a clear indication of your payment behavior and history. It tracks all your accounts and indicates where you have missed a payment or gone into arrears with your account over a period of time. There are steps that can be taken to correct your credit rating and have your name repaired. Check if the debt has effectively expired. Negotiate with creditors to reduce monthly repayments. Negotiate affordable settlements of outstanding debt. Make sure you do not have to deal with creditors. And most importantly, clear your name. Being blacklisted or a credit impaired is a major stumbling block for an individual trying to gain financial freedom, and it needs to be solved to allow individuals to participate on an equal footing in our economy by giving them access to jobs and finance without being held back. And we've just heard Gerald mentioning that this can impact you if you require a job in the future as well, and if you want to make major purchases like a home or a car, etc. So if you are blacklisted, make sure that you clear your name, and you can do this by making payments. Go for counseling, debt review if you need to go for debt counseling, and arrange with the company that has listed you to make a payment, small amount of payments, whatever you can manage, but do that in order to get off the list. It's not something that you should be ashamed of, because many people, even professionals, find themselves in this situation because life can take an unexpected turn. You can have the highest paying job today and be unemployed tomorrow, and you owe on a house, you owe on a car, you owe on appliances, you owe on so many things. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't if you find yourself in a situation whereby you need to go to court, then do so. Go to the court, but do not miss that. Um, it is important that you check your credit report regularly and seek assistance and make arrangements for the outstanding debt to be paid back. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. We will be right back.